Hello, Soul to Sisterhood family. Thank Goddess, it's Friday.
Oh my goodness, TGIF, I'm on a date with Jamie.
That's right, I'm on a date with Jackie. We are so glad that you tuned in to watch this amazing, this amazing woman talk about her wisdom, her life experience. You're welcome. And Jackie is my friend. She is definitely a mentor to me in so many ways. Aww. And I am lucky enough to say that she trusts me enough to be one of the 38 featured goddesses in our 36 chapters of the Soul to Sisterhood book. You've gotten to see her pictures, some of them this week. You've gotten to see her interview, or I shouldn't say her interview, you've gotten to see her oracle card, which is stunning.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, Connie.
Yeah, thank you, Connie. We love you. So one of the things I usually start these interviews with, and this is my second interview, just by chance that I get to have you here with me, IRL, in real life, that I usually start these interviews out talking about why this woman is so important to me and my life and the life of so many others, the lives of so many others, I should say. So I kind of gave Jackie a little warning that I was just going to toot her horn for a few minutes at the beginning. So this morning I was thinking about this interview and how to simmer down. All I want to say, simmer down. How I was going to simmer down all of the things that just in my heart, how I feel about my friendship with you. And I was thinking about the day that we met, and we have a mutual friend named Mary who invited us both to her child's birthday party at the park. And I remember I had heard about you from another mutual friend, but that day I just could not get enough of you. You're probably thinking like, gosh, I need to get this Jamie girl off of me so I can go talk to other people. But I just wanted to drink you in that day. And we exchanged numbers, and I think I called you a week or so later and told you about the Divine Mommy group that I was doing. And, you know,
well, we had even talked about it that moment, and I was like, sign me up. Are you kidding? I don't need a lot of coaxing for things like that.
Well, even though the Divine Mommy group was really what solidified our connection, Jax, I have to say that you are one of those people that fully embody both the seeker and the way shower in one. I mean, you are consistently and effervescently seeking to be better, to be wiser, to be kinder, more compassionate, more enlightened. And you balance that beautifully, not by pontificating or telling others how they need to do things, but by consistently being a student of life and cultivating your own learning opportunities. And I just want to tell you how inspirational that's been to me. It's such a grace. And I just wanted to bring to light the fact that people really listen when you talk.
That warms my heart. That really does. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Aww. I really mean that.
Because that is true. I do love to learn life. I do. I love to learn and grow, and thank you for that. That was wonderful.
You're welcome, honey. I mean it.
Aww.
And I'm so grateful to have you in my life and to be my friend. And I can't wait to share Jackie's wisdom in her chapter in the Soul to Sisterhood book.
So exciting.
Thank you. Jackie brings us some really needed, and the word that's coming to mind is staunch wisdom, because I think oftentimes we get bombarded with this maybe a theme of self-help and self-love, but maybe sometimes we just throw it off to the side because it seems unattainable. But you, with what you've gone through in your life and the way that you navigate your life, you've had to learn the hard way that there is no other way of being but to love yourself first.
School of knocks.
School of hard knocks. That's right. So in the opening page, or the opening sentence of your story, you say, I am a Feng Shui shaman, healer, goddess.
Yes.
Tell us what that means.
So, wow, that's a big one. I am a Feng Shui healer goddess. I wanted to say that again. Thank you. So Feng Shui healer goddess for me is someone, and this is my story, that really has taken life and said, I know there's more out there than what I was brought up around, even though my parents were very wise at exposing me to so many new things. I really did, like you said, I love the study of life. So through that, I gained a lot of wisdom in studying with Dr. Jerry Epstein for many years in New York City. And at the same time, working with Dr. Jerry Epstein, I also found my true calling in Feng Shui, which is the Chinese art of placement. And it's about harmonizing and balancing one's environment with themselves, with heaven, earth, man. How do we all fit in? And I would say at its core, it's about balance. So that is something that I'm always striving for, always learning to be able to teach it to my students, be able to teach it to my clients through their readings, through working with the energy of their home, and really trying to embody being the work that I say to do.
You walk the walk and talk
I walk
the
the
talk.
walk and talk the talk. So really, I have done the studies and, learned from me. I've taken a lot of workshops. I've done a lot of self, discovery and a lot of travel for my Feng Shui. That was really amazing. Traveling to the Far East for me was like my college education, being in 5 foreign countries and learning other cultures. But again, getting back to that balance that Feng Shui really strives to be, I would say that that's where I'm always aiming.
Mm-hmm.
And being that healer, I thought early on meant I had to help and save everyone. But what I realized along that journey is that sometimes if you haven't done all the work and your love cup and energy cup isn't full, you can't give from a place of nothing.
That's right.
So I really learned to embody the work that I do in order to show people that, yeah, you're going to have tough days, you're going to have to regroup, but as long as you're always back on your focus of bringing into balance your life and energy, along with all of it. I think we talked about that even tonight. Like, it's not just eating right, exercising, or just doing your Feng Shui. You really have to have that well-rounded mind, body, spirit, healing from all levels.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me kind of explain that I have taken that journey so that I can really help people from a place of knowing.
Well, absolutely. And one thing we talked about before we hit the record button was releasing this paradigm of something that I've heard mentioned a lot. It's the wounded healer. And so, Jackie, this is something that really is in your wheelhouse, this paradigm of the wounded healer and what it looks like to let that go. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that really it's about what I was kind of explaining. When we fill our love or our energy cup and we're healing ourselves, we can come from a place of strength in giving our love and our support, not from a place where I used to do it more often of wanting it more for the other person than they wanted it for themselves. I think in discovering that you don't have to be wounded to heal. I don't have to have balance 24/7 in my life to teach balance in Feng Shui.
Here.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a process. It's kind of what you strive for. It's an aim. Do I miss the mark some days? I do. But it's okay. You get up, you do it again. And I think that's really what I've brought to that knowledge of healing myself so that I can come from a place of true strength and true love, not wanting to change another, not wanting it more than they want it for themselves, but really saying, hey, this is some wonderful, fabulous wisdom and energy, and I'd love to share it with you. And, everybody is like a fingerprint. You have to still do you. You do you. That's always my thing. You do you. So, I'm from New York. That's how we do it. Anyway, so getting back to that, it's really, you're always having to recalibrate. I love using that word too.
I do too.
Recheck in with yourself. Yep. And kind of get yourself back on track, and then, and really being in touch and in a conscious way with your mind, body, spirit, and knowing, hey, you know what, my adrenals need some sleep today and I'm going to rest, or, you know, rebalancing, really facing the energy where it is and not trying to control it or change it. I think I've been there before in my past, haven't we all? But transforming it, you know, so having like this fabulous relationship with energy where in the embracing of it, even if it's weight that I want to lose or it's a belief system I'd like to get rid of, I think, you know, in hating it or in, you know, feeling like it's a wound, those kind of behaviors or conversations kind of help, like, I just lost my train of thought. But what they do is, lost my train of thought.
I love what you're saying is because I'm going to try to sum it down now.
Please.
I really needed to hear this because I think part of our wounding in that wounded healer mentality or paradigm, and you said this so beautifully just a few moments ago, is this continual striving to be the ultimate or perfect vision of that doesn't exist, right? We're still human beings having a spiritual experience, and every time we mess up and fall off the sidewalk, that doesn't negate any of our wisdom, knowledge, potential for transformation or for support or
not in the least,
you know, helping someone else, healing, you know, but that amount of self-compassion and self-forgiveness really leads to a place of self-love and self-mastery.
Definitely.
Right? Because if you went into your Feng Shui appointment tomorrow with the energy of apology that maybe you weren't in complete balance yesterday.
Right.
Our clients are going to feel
I think
that.
you have to be, I think you have to be real about it. Like I was saying to you, I still haven't posted my Tuesday tip from Tuesday. And maybe it's going to be Saturday's surprise tomorrow. We don't know. But, you know, I think that's what's great about embracing the energy where it is, kind of letting things be a little bit. I think what I've learned as a healer and a helper is that in the past, I always felt like I was the bucket of water and somebody was on fire. And no matter what I felt like, I had to help them put that fire out. What I realized in the wisdom and the growth and through healing others all these years, especially my own tribe, we're going to talk about that a little bit, is that really you have to heal yourself and get to that place of strength. And you can't always be the water bucket to somebody's fire, you know?
Sometimes people just want to burn.
And sometimes they want to burn. And that's, you know, and that's a great place energetically, I think, to get to as a healer and where I am in my practice today. It's a lot more self-confidence, a lot more self-love, a lot more understanding that I do have all that wisdom, even on the days I do feel wonky or feel like my energy isn't quite calibrated the way I would hope. So yes, thank you for that.
That segue that you just gave us. Oh, you're welcome, honey. That segue that you just gave about the tribe. So yes, for a very long time, you've been the primary caregiver for your parents.
Yes.
For how long would you say?
So 15 years, I've been the primary caregiver for my dad, and 14 years, I've been the primary caregiver for my mom. I want to preface that I'm an only child, so I don't have a lot of help in that regard. Not that if you have siblings, they're helping anyway. We've all been there. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is it kind of fell onto me.
You're a one-woman show.
I'm a one-woman show at the moment. And I do have two parents that are handicapped, so to speak, or have special needs, if you will. My mother has been losing her eyesight and now more than legally blind for a long time. I think 68, she stopped driving. So it's been a long time for her struggle. And my dad, unfortunately, collapsed about 15 years ago. And it was the precipitous for my move to Sarasota from New York City. And I didn't really know where I was going. And it was in that moment, I think, that I really trusted in divine. And when dad fell ill, I knew that I needed to be there. And I kind of said, hey, I'm moving to Florida. So thank you, Sarasota. It has been such a gift. I met my husband here almost right away after champion dating in New York City for many years. We talked about that as two New York City gals who lived in Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, so to speak to that, it's been 15 years for my parents. And then I met my husband shortly thereafter when I moved here 15 years ago. It'll be in December. My dad fell ill. I was living in New York City. I was a realtor and a Feng Shui consultant. I still am. I do both. And I really felt like it was time for a move.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved down here. I became the primary caregiver. Not, you know, I thought it was a temporary thing. 15 years later, here we are. But I had to learn to let go a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of letting go. And I think, thank God, my parents trained me for having children, because I have 7-year-old twin boys, one of which also has some special needs with type 1 diabetes. So what you come to find is all of a sudden you're the caretaker to many. And I think as women, we we can fall into that role quite easily. And as a helper and a healer and somebody like I shared with you who feels like that bucket of water for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know better how to work with that energy when people need me, and there's that ebb and flow, the balance we talked about. So yeah, it's been a long time, and I had to really learn to kind of come back from losing myself. We talked about that, because I was so loving and so caring and so giving and wanted to help, that I wanted it more than they wanted it for themselves. And that's really what I realized. And you know, who says so? Like, just because I decided my dad should be more active, or, you know, should be at the senior friendship center, whatever the story was I made up about their path, I learned very much to let people be on the path that they are, that we're all here by design. Everybody's where they are, you know, for a reason. Embrace that. It's not a judgment call. I'm here, I'm there. No, we're all where we're supposed to be at every moment. And I think learning that and growing into that as a healer has helped me so much, give from a place of people wanting the energy versus smothering or controlling or, you know, trying to change people. So it was a real gift in a lot of ways to be that caregiver. And yet at the same time, I had to kind of lose myself to find myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that strikes me, the exact verbiage that you used in your story, and it was so impactful that it became one of the themes for your chapter. You say, I learned I was responsible to, not for.
Yes.
And so with your tribe gifting you this life lesson that I'm responsible to you, I'm not responsible for you.
Yes.
And I mean, any other tidbits of wisdom about how that's worked out in your various relationships, being responsible to a relationship, an entity, a being, a person versus for it.
Right. I want to give credit to Jerry Epstein, because he was the one that really shined the light on that for me. When I would have those moments where I would feel like, who am I? What happened to the Feng Shui? What happened to, you know, all the things I was working on, my goals, my dreams? I realized that.
And that was when you were in the caregiving spiral?
I was in the caregiving spiral and really wasn't seeing the forest through the trees at that point. And Jerry said to me, you know, you're responsible to your parents, not for, for your parents, not
responsible to, not
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long week. Thank God it is Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
So yes. And I think when he helped really define that for me, it almost gave me permission. I want to say that word. It gave me permission to let them go. And I really noticed in that moment that honoring your parents, and taking and, you know, controlling your parents, that's what it was, are two very different things.
But
so
it's got to feel like that whole, you know, mirror has been shifted down now, with understanding what responsible to, not for means embodied within your mothering relationship.
It really has become interesting because as I saw myself in the forest more through the trees, I recognized how my tribe was not then seeing the new me, the new love me,
Mm-hmm.
the new I'm not going to control you, but like, hey, you're perfect and whole exactly as you are, where you are at every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I to say differently? I think what happens with people that we love, my parents, my children, is that we love them so much that we think that what we think is good for them is what they want. They must want this. This
Mm-hmm.
is, this is good for them. So what I've learned to as a healer is really show who I am. Hey, I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy to help you heal. I'm going to be balanced about it. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to schedule my time. I literally recreated my calendar. And it's not like me. All my friends can tell you, I'm not a scheduler. I'm not really into this whole discipline caretaking thing. And maybe that's why life kind of puts you in these moments, right? So that you can learn another part about who you are. And I am fabulous at it. And I am organized and good. And oh my gosh, I could like tell you a couple tips about senior care now.
I bet.
And people might want to call me for that because it's a hard road to navigate. But yes, you have to, then your tribe's like, well, wait a minute. I thought you were controlling me. And now I'm helping
Now I'm
you
in charge
heal.
of myself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now I'm in charge of myself. So it is a definite, the mirror. I think we've talked about that too. Everything is a mirror. Feng Shui is really about your space being a mirror for what's up for you in life. Your partner in life is a mirror for who you're being. Just like my parents were showing me things and teaching me things, in my opinion, about really how to let my kids be my kids. And I think it's been so helpful with the diabetes too, because I really have, my 7-year-old takes his own blood now, and he can change his own lancets and, some of this jargon you may not know. But what I'm saying is he's very involved in the conscientious process, and it's a balance. We partner. I think partnership is a great word here, because instead of me taking everything and like running it with my parents, with my kids, I've really learned to create partnerships.
Wow.
And I think that's what I can say about energy, is that everything has to be this give and take and this flow of energy. And it doesn't have to be tit for tat, like I paid you $1, I needed, but an energetic flow of balance, and then when you're not there, we recalibrate and we re-aim again. And that's really the ebb and flow of it. Jennifer Aniston didn't go to the gym and get the body she has in one time. This is what I tell my Feng Shui clients. Energy is ever changing, ever fluid, and it doesn't sit in a box on a shelf like this fluid here. We have to constantly reassess, recalibrate. And I think it's been such a great lesson for me as a healer to, yes, still be the helper, still be the loving person, but it's a partnership in energy now in working with anyone. And my tribe has helped me discover that so that I can bring that to others. I mean, I think it's great. I really enjoy helping people.
And one of the things that you talk about that I just wanted to bring up, because you share about this so beautifully in your story, and it's kind of like the double nature of what you've just said. Your tribe has taught you, and your inner wisdom has taught you that you can't control anything, to step back and just be the healing, loving presence that you naturally are, and let them be perfect in their own
life.
Perfect imperfection, right?
Absolutely.
So there's that dynamic, and then you kind of had a little pushback of these people being like, "Wait a minute, I thought you were controlling me,"
and that happens too. And then everybo's like, "Wait, why aren't you taking the toe the rope here? Why aren't you picking up the ball?
You do everything."
So there is a lot of recalibrating the mirror. We're going to use that word again, but so the mirror shifts, and then my self-reflection changed, and then their reaction differed, right? And then there we are recalibrating that same energy that we're talking about. That really this is like Feng Shui in action. This is like what we're describing is Feng Shui in action. And it's really about having that fabulous, conscientious relationship with energy where you can be in touch with it. And if you're having an off day, you got to go with that.
Yeah.
If you're in tune and you hit your sweet spot, go with that. Like, I think it's a wonderful place to be because you're really trusting in the divine, you're trusting in the energy, and you're trusting in your own wisdom, in your own soul that you've built. And like I said, I've done a lot of technology work, I've done a lot of classes, but it's more because I want to be a better version of myself. And I think in so doing, I can show people the light. I'm the light bearer, and now I can hold the light and help you hold your light.
You do that. You so do that.
Thank you.
And that sort of recalibration, re-aiming energy, you have implemented a lot of self-care around that. And you've also had your tribe say, wait a minute, you don't get to take care of you.
Right.
You're supposed to take care of me.
That's right.
So they stood there.
So there's a lot of pushback.
Yeah. So like with your self-care practice and the pushback, because I think for us as women, as moms, as caretakers,
right,
we can, I think, grasping onto that sort of that notion or idea of, okay, I'm going to step back and let you do you. I'm still here. I'm still in your corner, but I'm not going to control the situation.
Right.
But to also pair that with the much needed filling of your own cup through self-care, self-love, whatever that practice is.
Yes.
When we get pushback from our tribe around that, I feel like it's so easy for us to be like, okay, we'll just give that part up. I won't do that anymore. I won't do that.
Well, and I had to really teach myself, I love this Demi Lovato lyric where she said, when I cut the tether loose, I was saving you.
Mm.
And I think what I found in my caregiving was like, oh, you guys need me all the time. And, and then when I cut the tether loose, literally, I realized, oh, wait, who needs who here? Maybe what I really was aiming for was that feedback from the external to say, hey, you got this, you're doing good, you're taking care of me, what I realized is my own inner feedback is the most important feedback there is.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. So that's really when I shifted that dynamic. And you're right, there's always a pushback. I mean, I think we talked about it even tonight as I was explaining to Jamie how I've been recalibrating my adrenals, which have been problematic for many years since I discovered I was giving away from nothing. I had to change that. I don't think it ever goes away. Like I was saying, now my herbs, like, is it the caffeine? Is it the herbs? When am I eating? How am I sleeping? I think whenever we feel off, and this is what I teach my clients too, I love to check in with all levels. Like, how am I doing on my eating? How am I doing on my sleeping? How am I doing on my caretaking? How am I doing? And you just kind of do a quick check. Don't pressure yourself, but like a quick run through. And then, oh, wait, yeah, I didn't sleep very well this week. Let me take that afternoon to myself right now. And not feel guilty about it. I think being, a recovering Catholic, and I can say that here and save company, the guilt is such a useless thing when you can let that go. So I think that's part of the caretaking and the helping too, is that when you are in your self-care program, and I have a very good one, and I have amazing people who help me, who lift me up and raise my energy. I mean, like I said, Jennifer Aniston doesn't get this body from going to the gym, once or twice. I still have to keep working on my aims and goals. Where do I need to switch up my herbs, my exercise? Did I walk enough? I love also 20 minutes of real sunlight a day. Like for me, that's like a must. It's so important. So all of these little things that I've learned that are gifts, even if I just go out and I do a 20-minute walk and I take in nature, I can't tell, it's like praying twice, right? And we just did your little tour of your garden, and we were talking to the plants, and you were telling me, who talked back, and I just got goosebumps now. The energy is everywhere. Energy is in everything. So when I take those moments to myself, don't feel guilty about it. Recognize that you can't it's part of your job. It's part of Jennifer Aniston's job to go to that gym every day. So it's part of our jobs really to have that self-care plan and just kind of check in with ourselves a little bit. So, I have my little things that I do, and I noticed if I'm irritable or I'm off, I didn't do one of my self-care things. And then you switch it up again.
You are the hologram for the whole. I'm quoting you right now.
Yes.
Tell us, you've already done a beautiful job explaining that, but again, reiterate what that means to you. You are the hologram for the whole.
Yes, it's perfect. So again, I want to give Jerry a lot of credit for that because he really helped me discover that. And what I recognize is in my wanting to heal the world, because that really is my goal in life. I mean, that's why Feng Shui found me and I found Feng Shui. I think the more your love cup gets filled, bliss follows you, right?
Wow, that's a beautiful image.
I know. I love that. I thought about that on the drive here.
The more your love cup is filled, the more bliss follows you.
Yeah, you don't have to chase that energy. That energy is going to find you because you're balancing and recalibrating so that it naturally flows towards you.
Yeah.
And this is Feng Shui in action. So the hologram to the whole, I always wanted to heal. I knew I was a helper. I loved animals as a kid. I was always bringing, my mother can tell you, we had, Noah's Ark at my house at all times. As an only child, I was like the animal lover. And I was always helping. But I think where I realized the most help I can be to the world is in healing myself. I become the hologram for the whole. So if I'm healed, you're healed. If my love cup is full, your love cup is full. Why? Because I'm you. You're me. And when we talked about the mirrors we were talking about, whether it be the Feng Shui mirror, the relationship mirror, my caretaking mirror, we have lots of mirrors. You must be that hologram in order for that whole to align. So, if you think of the water, and we talked about even how water is powerful as an element, just that one drop in the water, you may think, oh, I'm just a drop in the water. But guess what? That drop is so important because you're one of many of us. And together we are the whole, right?
Yes.
So that's what I mean by that. And it's so important. If I'm not healed or healing or imbalanced, and it's an ongoing process. We said that. We're going to reiterate it again. It's an ongoing process. But when I feel like my love cup is full and myself, then I really have helped you just as much. And holding a light for you, I can hold a space for you without using all my energy to help you.
Without trying to control.
Right.
Right.
So it's in holding that space for you, that energy, in the hologram as the whole, that actually we are all healing each other. So if we're thinking about it, we are all the shaman healers. We all are. Because if you heal yourself, your anger, your hurts, and keep recalibrating, right? It's a process. It's not, there's no finish line. I think that's the beauty of energy. People are like, oh, well, when's my Feng Shui done? Yeah, well, guess what? When your Feng Shui is done, you're probably moving. Because that's how it happens, right? You're placing the last thing, or you built the last part of it, and guess what? It's time to move.
Yeah.
And that's really how energy is. So thank you for letting me share about the hologram as the whole.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to work with Jackie does amazing group work classes. She's got an online presence, and she also does wonderful one-on-one work and readings. You can find her website via her Soul to Sisterhood bio.
Yes.
We also have her business card
Yay,
here.
my new business card.
Her website is www.jafengshui.com. You can find her there. If you want to hyperlink right to her website or her email, you can go to the Soul to Sisterhood website, which is www.soul-sisterhood.com, and go to the Goddesses tab and scroll down and find her bio, and you'll be able to link right into her email right there. The last thing I want Jackie to toot her own horn about is the school that you're starting.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you, baby.
So I went to a phenomenal school called the Mead School for Human Development. My mother was a goddess in knowing that I was a different kind of energetic child, and that she really fought for me to be in a school where children were met exactly where they are, exactly the energy work we were just discussing here today. And so with that philosophy, I think it was about 2011, I found it in my notes. I said, I want to start a school like a Mead school. Where are all the Mead schools in Sarasota? Where are all the Mead schools in the world, right? So basically it germinated from me wanting to create this energetic work at the base core. Like if we want to help all human beings, where's the best place to start? Right at the school foundation.
Right.
So phenomenally, and I'm standing on the shoulders of many goddesses, by the way, and many women that have helped us even get where we are right now.
And you've got a wonderful
Oh
collaborator.
my goodness. And with Christy Iris, I am building, my co-founder, this phenomenal school called the Sundial Learning Center. Yay, we are about 1.5 years as an actual school. And again, it's very energetically like what we discussed. Yeah. It's a constant recalibration. And I want to just acknowledge the school, and I'm going to get teary. The school is my new mirror that helps me really recognize how important it is to let kids be who they are. And you do you.
No matter how old you are.
No matter how old you are, because it's so important. So the school really is at my heart and soul of the energy work that I do in meeting children exactly where they are. It's project approach based. It's Reggio Emilia inspired. And it's really all the good juju that I've uncovered and Christy's uncovered in life. And really, we want to bring the tools to children to be the best version of themselves, to be this hologram of the whole, you know, to learn not only to read, write, and, you know, arithmetic, but how do we all get along in this world? How about kindness, inclusion, embracing our differences? Because yes, we're all the same at our core. And yet what makes the tapestry so beautiful is that we're all different. Yeah. So I want, you know, Sundial to be a place where children feel free and energy flows in a divine way that, their light is never dampened and never goes out. So we are always holding the space for their light, whether they can hold it for themselves or not. That will always be there for children on a lot of different levels. And I'm excited to also share that we're doing an online version so that we can really bring this to the masses in so many ways. So look for Sundial Learning Center. We also have a Facebook page.
Please
private.
Tell us what it is. Tell people how to
Sundial Learning Center on Facebook page. It is private because we do want to honor the integrity of the work that's being presented with the children there, and the education and the energy and the process that the school and the children are going through. I think that's what's wonderful about really working with energy, is that you when you attune to it and really get into the flow of energy and nature and the principles of Feng Shui, you realize that we are all beautiful in the songs that we're making, all on our own. You are made in the image and likeness of God, and you're fabulous exactly how you are right in this very moment. And everything that you've done up to this moment has brought you here for a reason. And everything happens for a reason. And if we trust in the divine, bliss follows us. So thank you, Jamie.
Jax, if somebody was interested, because you've got some spaces available, right?
We do have a few spots available.
And what age groups?
So it's 5 to 9 year olds. We'll take 10 and 11 if it's a sibling. But it's very much a family cooperative partnership, so that we want families involved. Again, it's about that balance. This isn't, a school where it's 9 to 5 and the parents aren't involved. So again, it's 5 to 9 year olds. We're also taking 10 and 11-year-old siblings, if that's the case. And we have a few more spots. We really like to keep it a little bit smaller.
Sure.
We realize that growing slow helps perfect the mission. That's been one of our mantras. And that really doing the work that we just really embraced today and talked about here with you all, that's really that encompasses the heart and soul of Sundial and the work that I do in life.
So if someone wants to find out more information or maybe talk with you about enrolling their child in Sundial, how do they get in touch with you?
You can email us at sundiallearningcenter@gmail.com. sundiallearningcenter@gmail.com. So email your information and tell us you're interested, or you can go on Facebook and just request a like on our Facebook page.
And
so
we'll
that
put
would be
that
great.
Email address in the comments
We'll
too.
get that.
Yeah.
We'll get that out to you, so you can definitely get in touch with us. And I love sharing my work. I love sharing myself, and I love really helping people in a whole new way, from a place of love and support than a place of not being able to hold that light for them. Now I have the strength and the knowledge that, when I am the hologram and can heal my own self, boy, the whole looks a whole lot better.
Reflects it.
It's so amazing. So thank you.
Oh, Jax, I mean, just listening to you talk, can I enroll in Sundial?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's what I love about Sundial. I have never learned more as an adult than what the kids have to teach us.
So what would I be? Would I be like a 27th year?
I know, right?
Third grader.
The lessons of life for the adults. And believe me, I think that's a fabulous place to go. I mean, eventually the dream really is for Sundial, and this really is the dream, to have a campus where there might be an assisted living facility over here, and the children are over here, and everybody feels needed and valued, and there's partnership. As a matter of fact, we have a fabulous grandparent that's involved as our master gardener at Sundial, and just, fabulous things like that, because really everyone has a place here. We're all that hologram for the whole.
Yes.
Everyone has value.
Yes.
So thank you for letting me share my goodies today.
You are so welcome.
All my juju.
Thank you for coming
an
over
honor.
and spending time with me. And thank you so much for being a part of this book. And thank you for being in my life.
Letting me share, yes, and vice versa. It's been amazing. So namaste to Jamie, to all of you out there. I am loving being with her tonight, especially during all this time when we're having a lot of isolation and people are feeling lonely. Reach out. Where Soul to Sisterhood is here. We're all here. We're all here.
Yeah.
Don't be alone.
You're never alone.
Never
You've
alone.
Always got us on a soul to soul connection. So maybe we should end with that. Let's align and attune with each other and with everybody who is watching. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. And imagine that beautiful amethyst at your mid-brow, your Ajna chakra, and just imagine that beautiful purple light glowing with every heartbeat. It pulses. And on your next exhale, just in your imagination, draw a line connecting your Ajna down to the center of your chest, to your heart chakra or heart center. And there's a beautiful emerald, again pulsing with your heart. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, your connection to yourself, to your higher self, to your physical body and your energetic body strengthens. Now, connecting from your heart to your Ajna on up, anywhere between about 6 to 18 inches above the crown of your head, connect into that white diamond of your soul light. And breathe into that connection. My dog Delilah, who's sitting behind me, is aligning and attuning with us. That's her adding her 2 cents into this process. So we are now aligned and attuned, right? We're aligning our physical body so that we can attune to a higher vibratory energy of our soul. Take another deep breath in and let's connect to each other. So I'm connecting to Jackie, Ajna to Ajna. You're connecting to us and we're connecting to you, Ajna to Ajna. Now connect heart to heart. I'm connecting to Jackie. She's connecting to me. We're connecting to Delilah. We're connecting to you and you're connecting back to us, heart to heart. Now we're connecting and creating our sacred circle via our soul light. I'm connecting to Jackie. She's connecting to me. We're connecting to you and you're connecting back to us. We are all aligned and attuned to one another. into the energy that is there for us from our higher selves, from our inner knowing, and from our sisterhood. And now let's continue to let our awareness become conscious of connecting to source, whatever and wherever that energy is for you, and connecting to center, whatever and wherever that energy is for you. So now we are anchored and tethered to fully allow this spiritual consciousness to come in to our soul awareness, to our ego awareness, to our mental awareness, to our emotional awareness, and to our physical awareness. And in this place of connection, we are never alone. Breathe into that. In this place of connection, just like Jackie so beautifully described, we are one. We are the hologram for the whole, filling our own hearts and beings with love so that that bliss energy can follow us. And as we love ourselves, we know we love one another. And as a final step, let us all set the intention for the greatest and highest good to come forward for ourselves and for every living thing. And we know everything is living. For the greatest and highest choice to come forward for ourselves and for every living thing. And we know everything is living. And lastly, to be the greatest and highest good for ourselves and for every living thing. And we know everything is living. Let's align our breath together. Breathe in and out. Take one more deep breath in. And on this exhale, let's open our eyes and look at each other and smile. I love you.
I love you.
We love you, Delilah.
I love you,
And
Delilah.
Namaste. Namaste. And
Love
Delilah
you, goddesses.
says, she doesn't want to say it. Namaste. All right, Jax, thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Jamie. What a wonderful night. TGIF.
TGIF, thank goddess it's Friday. And we are so grateful for all of you, our Soul to Sisterhood tribe, our Soul to Sisterhood family. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for watching and for just being you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
Bye.
everybody have a great night.
Bye now.